Today I'm talking about Neil Marshall's 2005 British horror classic, now released on 4K UHD from STUDIOCANAL, and honestly The Descent is one of the best horror films of the 2000s. Not just one of the best British horror films, but one of the best horror films full stop. This Steelbook edition is stunning. It is a fantastic transfer on 4K. The cave is incredibly scary. The characters are traumatic and full of resentment, and panic is scary. The darkness is scary, and the film adds in something else in that, and that's when it becomes absolutely brutal on top of all that.
Gotta see this place! It's beautiful! You won't believe this, man!
The film follows Sarah, played by Shauna Macdonald, who's trying to recover after a horrific personal tragedy that we see at the start of the film. A year later, she joins a group of friends up for a cave trip organised by Juno. Also in the group you've got Beth, Rebecca, Sam, Holly, and at first it looks like a way for all these women to sort of reconnect, push themselves, and maybe help Sarah start to move forward. But very quickly things go wrong. The cave system they enter is not what they think. The route is dangerous. The way back becomes almost impossible. And then comes the worst realisation of all. They're somewhere unknown. Nobody knows where they are. Nobody is coming to help them. And that's such a strong horror setup, because the danger starts with something completely human. A bad decision, a lie, a desire to push things a little bit too far.
And this isn't Borum Caverns, is it, Juno?
We're in the wrong fucking cave.
Holly was right. Borum Caverns was a tourist trap.
And then there are something else in the darkness that just adds to that. But by the time we get there, we've got characters who feel real, who feel three-dimensional, who feel as if they have real world relationships, who feel as if they are damaged and carrying lots of baggage, who are in this horrific situation. And just for fun, the filmmakers ramp that up by throwing something in there as well. The cave is one of the most incredible horror locations I've seen. It's not just a backdrop, it is the horror. Before anything supernatural or monstrous, the Descent makes you afraid of space itself. The narrow tunnels, the crushing rock, the dark water, it's all physically claustrophobic, and you feel it watching it. The director understands how physical that claustrophobia is and pushes it onto the viewer.
Okay, Sarah, you have to calm down. And the only way you're going to do that is to breathe, yeah? Okay, breathe. Slowly. Just keep breathing.
I felt my chest tightening watching some of the sequences. There are scenes where the film has somebody squeezing through a tight passage, and that is incredibly tense. As the characters start to panic, you feel it yourself. There is a moment where they feel stuck and not what they can do. It's allowing the cave to become the horror within this environment, and that works incredibly well for the film. We get Sarah and her trauma. What takes this more than just a monster movie is it begins with a grief for a character which never quite leaves. Sarah isn't just trapped underground, she's already emotionally trapped before she enters the cave. The loss at the start of the film hangs on everything, making her a really fragile character, and that gives the film a much darker emotional core. It's not just about survival, it's about what grief does to a person or a group within this as well. I love the group dynamic. It's one of the reasons that The Descent works so well. The group feels incredibly believable. It's not a slasher where everyone is just extras waiting to be picked off. These women have histories. You can feel the old friendships and the old tensions and the jealousy and loyalty, the unspoken hurt that's there. because when everything starts to collapse, the panic feels personal. They're not just scared of the creatures, they're scared of being abandoned, scared of being lied to, scared of being trapped with people they no longer fully trust. I think like just the whole characters themselves, that group is just wonderful. Like I said, nobody's given short shrift there. They're all fully fledged out. They're fully people in their own right, and that carries a long weight. Nobody is perfect. They all make wrong decisions. They all have little quirks that just make them maybe annoying in their own way, but there's a harmonious nature between this group, although it may be a little bit tentative. Then you add in the creatures, which come in the last third of the film. The crawlers are pretty terrific because Marshall, the director, holds them back for long enough and allows the cave to become absolutely terrifying. So we have this location that is horrific, that is barren, that is tough to navigate, and then you throw in these monsters into the middle of it because they're part of the environment. They're pale, blind, fast. They've adapted to the dark. They're not over designed. They're not given an endless backstory, and it doesn't really matter. They're creatures surviving, and they're looking for any kind of food or sustenance, and something has walked into their path and they are going to do what they do. It shifts from that claustrophobic existential terror into something much more visceral, and the film just does this so smoothly. It's pure claustrophobic survival horror, and then it becomes creature horror on top of that, and by the end of it you're bordering on a psychological breakdown. Sarah's journey is incredibly intense, and I think that's why the film sticks. It isn't just about going underground, it's about her descent into grief, rage, instinct, and ultimately violence. The direction, I think, is really well done as well. You know, after Dog Soldiers, which he proved he understood the genre, the dynamics, and the siege tension, but the descent is on another level for me. The pacing is excellent. It builds. It doesn't throw everything at you straight away. It allows the tension to build throughout the film. It lets the walls almost move and close in on our characters, and then when the violence hits, it hits incredibly hard. Even when the cave is disorientating, you kind of understand where the danger is. You feel trapped, but not confused by sloppy filmmaking. The ending, for me, is it's one of the biggest talking points. Without getting too deep into spoiler territory, I always had that great conversation around its different endings and how bleak the film is willing to be. And for me, the darker one is the one that really completes the film, but doesn't give me the satisfaction that I really want, if you know what I mean. The final note is what turns it from a great monster movie into something much nastier and much more memorable. Would I take it out the film? Absolutely. Do I think it needs to be there? Yes, I do. At the same time, just fantastic. The 4K release is incredible. It looks wonderful, like I said. When it moves into that darkness, you get to see everything when the light's bouncing off the various cliff edges or the rock edges. You really see it. I think it's just wonderful when it gets to those really dark sequences with the minimal light. It just looks amazing. Great film. Let's dive into the disc and have a look at the extras. Here we are in disc 1 of The Descent. If we go to the setup, you'll see that there is a commentary with the director and the crew, and a commentary with the director and the cast. These are legacy ported over from a previous release. If we go to the extras, there is the alternate ending from the US theatrical version and a trailer gallery. Here we are And the disc for the descent with the extras, we have What Lies Beneath, which is a new extra at 46 minutes 53 seconds and is a retrospective looking at the creation of the descent. It's a wonderful piece and a really good new addition. Next we have Poetic Pain, the film score, which is an interview with composer David Julian, which runs for 9 minutes 31 seconds, and again having him talking about how what really inspired him, the working process and finding the right music as a new extra was terrific. And the final kind of new extra that's here is a masterclass with Neil Marshall, the 2026 Gerarmer International Film Festival, which runs for 43 minutes 55 seconds, and there's a Q&A with him talking about this film. We have The Descent making of, which is 41 minutes 19 seconds, and it's an archival making of. These are all archival extras from now on. Descending, an interview with Neil Marshall, which runs for 7 minutes 13 seconds, and just talking about the idea of the caves. Then we have The Fine, The Fearless, The Feisty, 9 minutes 34 seconds. It's talking about the dynamic. Then we have Descending, an interview with director Neil Marshall, which is 7 minutes 13 seconds, and it's all about the ending and the choice for that. Then we have The Fine, The Fearless, The Feisty, which is 9 minutes 34 seconds, and it's talking about the group of women and the characters together. A Special Breed of Actor and Effects is All the Effects, it's 11 minutes 51 seconds. Creating an Underground World is The Set Designer, that is 9 minutes 56 seconds. Then we have Caving, a high def video experience, which is 8 minutes 36 seconds, is basically somebody going through caves exploring. Then we have Deleted and Extended Sequences, which is 9 minutes 56 seconds. We have Outtakes, which is 5 minutes 13, and Storyboard Comparisons, which are 10 minutes 20 seconds. Also included in this set is a poster as well. That's the extras for The Descent. There we have it, The Descent on 4K, absolutely must own release. It's the kind of horror film I love seeing. One of those horror films where I want to turn it off, not because I am not enjoying the film, but because I'm in too deep. I'm in with the characters, I'm there in the situation, and anxiety is fueling me at that moment. A genuinely great film. I would love to know your thoughts on The Descent. Let me know in the comment box below whether you love it, hate it, or fall somewhere in the middle. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box are links to Patreon, membership program, and manvfilm.com, always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.